800 likes for the poltergeist. I don't know if you remember, but a while ago, I featured a CCTV footage in which we can see a haunted office. And with the amazing amount of details that I just provided, and knowing that you're a genius who can remember everything, let's talk about the first video. I did feature part of it in the past, but this is the full-length footage. Let's talk about Steve, your cousin who keeps begging your mom in secret. He works in this company, and I have no idea what kind of job he has, but he seems to be working alone. Or maybe he has chosen this shift so he can relax himself. If you know what I mean. You know, alone at night and sitting on your PC disk. Perfect timing for the devil. But Stevie was interrupted by the angels of this company. You bring your dirty sperm into these clean floors, you pig. It all started with a peeping sound. Honestly, I don't know what it is for, but maybe it's a sensor detecting a movement, like someone entered the building. Steve paused the video after he was asked if he is alone. He was asked by the advert, if you know what kind of advert I'm talking about. So he went to check and couldn't find anyone. So he thought to himself, I'm still high. And before we witness an ugly scene, here comes another activity. The lights in the other room are flickering. At this point, Steve lost it, so he came fast and stood up to see what was going on. And before you know it, we see a leaked footage of Sonic the Hedgehog 3rd movie, some behind the scenes. If Steve turns out to be a security guard, then I have already lost all faith in humanity. But I can tell you, he ran that day more than he has ever run in his entire life. Some time ago, I featured a man named Chris who calls himself a skateboard. And ever since then, he actually became a real-life skateboard. And he also captured some new paranormal activities. Let's start with the basics. How to walk. I mean, the Ouija boards, because remember kids, if things are poltergeist enough in your house, you can always make things worse. Just bring a Ouija board. And that's what Chrissy did. He also brought his brother to play with him. To play the Ouija board, not something else, you sick-minded. After that night, things have never been the same. Actually, they were just as they used to be. But now some clicking sounds can be heard. And the camera stand forgot its purpose, which is to hold the camera and stand. Chris's sink faucet decided to increase his bills. This poor man. Even his favorite water bottle doesn't want to be held by him anymore. And to fix things up, Chris decided to invite his family over. Not for a dinner and not for a party, but rather to experience his special pleasure. And I'm talking about his house haunting. And they didn't disappoint. Why? What did they do? They gave us fair reactions to the activity. To be clear, they just encountered two very generic activities. Cabinet door opening, and some little kid moaning. Or more like a woman who is still new to her job, and it's her first time acting like she is getting smashed. Don't make me explain any further, or YouTube will give me some hard times. I just have to talk about one more thing before I let you go. I slept with your mom. Because I sleep at night, and she sleeps at night, so technically, we did sleep together. I mean like we slept at the same time. And his dog looks like a djinn.
A lot of y'all's gonna be mad at me, but me and my cousin broke this out. Messed with it last night.
Sex on a Ouija board. Oh boy.
We did it the proper way, though. I know this is a kid's toy, but y'all don't understand the kind of shit y'all's getting into when y'all fuck with this. At least some people don't. I heard it, but I didn't see it. I still hear it. You can hear that, can't you? I can. Sound like tapping. Everybody's like, oh, it's the hutch. It's the hutch. It's like the second time tonight.
Today, you wasn't awake last time. He was knocked out.
I'm not. He wait.
He was knocked out.
Yeah, so he just now woke up. We pulled up and he heard the dog barking, so he was like, "What that be?"
I'm not scared.
You look just like your daddy.
They're twins.
So now,
Why you do that? I'll be back. I'll be right back.
Oh my god. Holy hell. James, that cabinet door just flew open. I literally saw it. Holy shit.
you okay?
I watched it open and it flew. Oh,
Are you good? You wanna like me?
I'm okay. It's just like, what?
You got me over here getting like goosebumps.
I literally like watched it and did this. Boom.
My
Bang.
heart is pounding.
You should be the one in here watching it. Chris don't be playing.
How you gonna greet me like this as I come up in here?
How do you think I felt?
I don't know.
Oh. Chris better come get his friend.
Woo.
Oh.
What I actually wanted to say at the end of my introduction to this one is that this dog didn't want to be left out of the scene, so he kept barking outside. He reminds me of myself when I was younger. If I wanted attention, I would start speaking louder. Before you ask me who is Joe, let me ask you this. Where is my white boxer that has a military pattern on it? And now, let's talk about Joe. Or, let's first talk about where he comes from. He is just like us, we all come from some woman's belly. But Joe was under some different circumstances. Let's just say that he was kind of an accident. That's why when he grew up and got to know some people and had some of them as best friends, and God knows, maybe he did the forbidden with some of them, he told his story and how he was born to some. And it did leave a mark on their relationship. Because you can't tell me you would leave someone in such dark, dirty tunnels like that while you and your friend keep yourself safer. And that's what these two did to the innocent man Joe. They left him alone in the dark while they were scared of the weird voices he was making. The only explanation to these voices: you left that man there and now you're scared of his reaction. What the? What is that? I don't know, dude. What the f? That's twice. Joe's doing his TMs. Dude, Joe connecting. Yeah, that's nice. We left Joe. Okay, everybody, we left Joe alone. He's around the corner. He's communicating. Jesus. I heard help me. I heard help me. Yeah. It's like a voice. There's no one here. This is not a joke. Joe's around the corner by himself. I clearly heard help me. Here's Joe. That low light's Joe.
Can I come see this tunnel? We can hear it perfectly.
It was coming from that direction, I could tell.
That wasn't right where you were at?
No, pretty close though. It seemed like something, almost like it moved. I could feel something move by, something. Wind.
Oh, it was loud. And it would die down. And then it would get quiet down and come back and get louder and louder. And we were here. We stood there for 10 minutes listening to it.
Oh yeah?
If you're getting eaten or something.
As soon as I sat down, I got water dripping on me, so I had to stand up. As soon as I stood up, that's when it started. And it was coming from that direction.
It went on for like 6 minutes off and on, dude.
I don't know which one of these is Joe, but believe me, he didn't want any of them to know that he was the one who's making these noises. But I know good acting when I see one. He acted like it has nothing to do with him. Believe me, this next video is pure old. It's not some good quality footage that was edited in production to look poor. It's just a beautiful 15-year-old video that has two Russian dudes having a very stupid conversation. Now, since we are talking 16 to 15 years ago, back then, chances are that you had a Nokia phone with a crappy camera because you can't afford an iPhone, especially in Russia. I just had to mention it because I want to prepare you to go to the hospital. It's like I'm making excuses so you don't blame me if anything happens to your sight. For the title of this one, let's talk about our third man who seemed to have had a rough day that day, and he was minding his own business, but when the camera captured him, he had no option but to hide behind the tree. His hiding skills were so elite he vanished.
Bonjour Florian. Bien et toi? Ah là il fait froid là tu vois. Ça va, il fait putain. Oh sa mère. Oh sa mère. Sa mère. Oh sa mère. De quoi qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Oh je crois que j'ai vu un pélo. J'ai vu un pélo. J'ai vu un pélo. J'ai vu. Oh mais j'ai vu un pélo. Tu l'as vu? Bah viens on va voir là-bas. Tu l'as vu où? Mais là vers l'arbre. Ah tu me fais ça. Derrière l'arbre. Tout fait. Oh. Sur la vie de moi il y avait quelqu'un. Sur la vie de moi il y avait quelqu'un. Vas-y, il y a personne. Oh je te montrerai la vidéo sur la vie de moi. Putain.
I'm a skinny man myself, but I can approve that this guy was too thick to disappear like that. He reminds me of my ex. She would show up and then disappear for the next 2 years. That's before I caught her with "I love you." Since we don't have the official names for the couple in the upcoming very unexciting piece of footage, I will call them Mario and Luigi. Very creative names, I know. I came up with them myself. So Mimu and Lulu are 2 men on a mission to fake the apparition of a Jinn child. I mean, to capture a very terrifying evidence that this old unfinished building is haunted by a child Jinn. Let me talk about these 2 first. Mario is the cameraman who does absolutely nothing other than point out the obvious and call it scary. And what's even more annoying about his personality is that he keeps giving unnecessary reactions. He sees a burning on the wall and he is already moaning. The wind is making sounds and he would be like, "I'm about to give birth. Someone help me, this is too paranormal for me." While Luigi looks like a guy who has been in shock mode for the last 2 years. He is the one who throws himself in danger if there is any to begin with. And he has that reaction on his face every time his friend points out something. He also comes with a kit, a flashlight, a mortar and a pestle. He is like that football player from the Saudi Arabia squad who celebrates like he is blending something with his hands. Regarding my son, whom I just found while the video was playing, I wasn't searching for him. I even forgot he existed ever since I sent him to the grocery shop to buy me some snacks. Turned out he was somewhere in the world living in an abandoned building by himself, freaking people out and pushing them to their limits until they quit and leave the place. Just like he did to me the day he was born. Thank God he is nowhere near.
Mira la figura que está ahí, güey. Mira, ya la quemaron, colombiano, mira esa figura. ¿Qué fue? Ay, Dios, sí. Se escuchó clarito, güey. ¿Dónde fue, güey? No sé. Uy. ¿Dónde fue, güey? Mamá. ¿Dónde fue, güey? No sé. Mamá. Mamá dijeron, güey. No manches.
Clarito, no manches, güey.
Padre Dios. No manches.
Se me puso la piel chinita, güey.
Sí, güey.
¿Qué? ¿Qué, güey?
Algo pasó por allá.
¿Dónde, güey?
Algo pasó por allá al fondo.
¿Aquí?
No, acá.
¿Dónde?
Acá arriba.
¿Acá, de este lado?
Sí, acá arriba. Algo pasó acá arriba, güey. No manches. No, para acá. No manches, güey.
¿Qué viste, güey? ¿Qué viste?
No. No, me vas a creer lo que vi,
¿Qué
güey.
viste, güey?
Vi un bulto, güey, pequeño, güey.
No. Ya. Escucho algo.
¿Hay algún niño aquí? ¿El espíritu de algún niño?
¡Ay, güey! ¡Otra vez, güey!
Ay, 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 ay. Aquí está. Aquí está. ¿Dónde fue?
¿Dónde fue, güey? ¿Me escuchó aquí cerca, ¿Y yo? Hay que volver aquí, güey.
If you believe this child is a jinn, then I can assure you he does behave like a jinn. He is fast, dark, and can be terrifying. I know my son, but he is definitely not a real jinn, because then that means I have had a relationship with a demon, and I'm sure she was human. But to say he is a real jinn, that would be stupid. You know what else is stupid? Not subscribing to Spicy Horror, and not watching the next video appearing on your screen.